Hey everybody, it's Liz. I want to talk to you today about what I call meta story. Meta story is the story above a story someone's telling you. It's the story that has the deeper meaning. All right, I call it the meta story. Where's my book? There's a book when I was in pastor school 15, 20 years ago or so. We had to read this book, Listening and Caring Skills by John Savage. He is a savage. He's overtly Christian, perhaps in this book, but great skills in basically taking psychological techniques and ideas and helping you listen and care for people who are in palliative care or your congregants, your parishioners, whomever. But this is very useful in talking with anybody. So I'll say again that we're always spraying our psychology all over the place whenever we talk or interact, or by what we wear, if we wear makeup or not, or if we're fit or not, how we act in the world, what we say, what we don't say, if we talk, if we don't talk. You're always, I love to say, ejaculating your psychology all over everybody. The folks out there who are astute can pick up on what you're doing. So I've talked recently in a video about the Vimala alphabet, that when you're handwriting on a piece of paper, your subconscious is showing the subconscious personality traits and things like that. It's showing. Also, every story you tell, every word out of your mouth is a story. And the interesting thing is that your conscious mind may not even know why you're telling the story. Your conscious mind will likely not even be aware of your deeper meaning and why you're telling your story. The brain is a very powerful thing. It does many things to protect the teller of the story from emotional pain and from being injured. So what happens is you'll be talking to someone. It could be grandma, it could be someone in the hospital, it could be your daughter, it could be anybody, it could be your person, kids, whatever. And they'll be telling a story. Now, what the brain does, what the subconscious does, is it does it in a very subtle way to be sure that telling their deep emotional pains or concerns is that the teller will be protected if you don't pick it up. So if you're a conversational brute and you're not hearing it, or you're simply waiting to tell your own story. I have conversations like that all the time with my friends. They tell a story and go, oh yeah, wow, yeah. And I tell my story, then they tell a story. That's fine, it's conversation. But a lot of times people are telling their story because they have a deeper pain or an issue that they would like some healing for, or like the subconscious would like to be heard. Okay. Now, if you can pick up the meta story, you can do a lot of things with that. You can ignore it. It's your choice, and stay superficial and shallow, like, oh yeah, that sounds terrible. Yeah. And let me tell you what happened to my Aunt Mabel, blah, blah, blah. And you have every right to not pick it up if you don't want to play like that. And if you feel like listening and feel like caring, if you're in that role, or you feel like you want to be helpful, you can listen for the meta story. I'm going to give you a couple examples in this short video. People are always, like I said, spraying their psychology weather, and they're also doing all kinds of things to avoid their own pain. We try to avoid our own pain all the time through psychological projection, where whatever we're doing, we blame someone else for. We confabulate, like make up a different history for ourselves. We deflect. We even have personality disorders. So anything to not like admit our shadow. Okay. So we do it through our stories as well. That's why the conscious mind may not even be aware. So I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a couple stories. So my mom called me about a month ago, and she's from the South, the deep South. So she gets on the call. She's like, Elizabeth, I'm gonna need surgery. My knees were shot. I just can't walk anymore. I just can't. And so I had an inner chuckle, because my mom has never done anything that I recall to ever be fit or eat clean or be healthy. She's eaten everything she wanted to eat. She's smoked everything she wanted to smoke. She's drank everything she wanted to drink, including plenty of liquor. Even today, 81. She's drank plenty of liquor since I've known her. Fine, and life choices, right? And so she dresses out at a lot of weight. Okay, and fine, whatever. No fat shaming here, but her knees at 81 have given out. It's kind of like she's hoist on her own petard, if you will, or it's the comeuppance for being overweight for most of your life. It's fine. I love her. So what do you think she was telling me in that story? What was she saying about, like, I've signed up for the appointment. I've got the appointment set. I'm just so sad. I'm so sad. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't want to go in for the surgery. I'm afraid. I'm afeared. So I thought about it for a minute and I said, Mom, are you concerned about your own autonomy? Like, you're not going to be able to actually get yourself around the house anymore, about your own ability to take care of yourself? She's like, how did you know? So not only in that story was it's a simple story, but not only was she telling me the date and time and that the fact that she's going to have knee surgery, but she was also sharing her concern that she wouldn't be able to walk anymore. Like, what if the knee surgery doesn't take, or what if she needs more knee surgery, or what if, it's going to be a painful recovery, et cetera, et cetera. That's a simple, easy one. But if you want to, you can just simply listen to the story before you start chattering away about your own thing. If you want to, you can listen and say, what is this really about? What would the subconscious be wanting to share with me, that the conscious teller, the conscious portion of the teller does not want me to know? The fear, the deeper fear. That's kind of an easy example, but you can choose to listen like that. Now, John Savage talks about different categories of meta story. There's people, like, sometimes people are simply practicing or they're narrating a talk they're going to have. Like, I have a friend, Anna, who has difficult conversations often with people. She's from the UK. So she'll narrate, she'll kind of go over what she wants to say. So in that case, that story is about a narration, a practice for what she wants to tell the person. Right? There's all kinds. There's history, there's revision, there's history. Me talking about like a long time ago, this one thing happened. It's kind of like, the famous, I have a friend, but it's really about you. That's a very easy, simple example of something like that. I knew a person a long time ago one time, and it's often about the person, or subconsciously, it's about a problem the teller of the story is having. Let me tell you another story. So I was a chaplain at Fort Sam Houston back in 2014. For 4 months, I was TDY, temporary duty down there, and I was the chaplain in the trauma department. Fort Sam Houston, the trauma center there, SAMC, now they call it SAMC now, San Antonio Military Medical Center. SAMC, they have 7 trauma rooms, and I was the first chaplain ever to be signed to the trauma rooms because they knew I could handle it, which I could. Give me the trauma, hand it to me. I can handle trauma. Brain matter on the floor, blood, anything. I got you. And I just recover later. So anyway, I was talking to the sergeant major who's probably very seriously ill and probably in his last year of before he retires, if the Army was going to let him retire. And he goes, "Chaps, I live in Wimberley." And I said, "Oh, nice town." It's a very nice town. And he goes, "I have a farm there, got about 100 acres, and me and the wife are homesteading there. This guy next to me has this farm, and he has all these horses there. Got a pile of horses. He just collects them. He keeps collecting people who just have retiring horses. They're all out there and they're just grazing away. They're all like literally put out to pasture. And I don't like that. I think those horses could still be useful, and no one's taking care of the hooves. No one's trimming them. So they're all pointing out and up like ski tips, And I just think it's really mean to not have these horses be useful. I wish they could be useful." What do you think the meta story is there, or the meta narrative? So I say, "Sergeant Major, are you concerned that after this illness, maybe the Army won't find you so useful anymore? Are you worried about your own future with the military or with your own legacy?" And he's like, "Chaplain, are you friggin' psychic?" And I said, "No, I'm just listening. I'm not all that. I'm just saying that if you listen to why is he telling this random story about horses put out to pasture? Put him in as a subject. He's being put out to pasture, or his subconscious is concerned he's being put out to pasture." So I just invite you, when you're relating with your people, whether it's a cocktail conversation or it's lunch conversation, or your important people in your life, you can listen to the meta story. And I'll stop there. But let me know what you think in the comments, and if any of the psychobabble that I like to talk about helps you. Take care. Bye-bye.